Engineer Yabagi Sani, former chairman IPAC Advisory Group, joins me now on the program virtually. And I believe, welcome by the way, Engineer Sani. I believe you're also national chairman, national chairman of the ADP.
Yes, very much so.
All right.
Democratic Party, yes.
Yes.
ADP.
Welcome.
I'm the national chairman.
Yeah, welcome, sir. So the Senate is supposed to receive the report of the committee it constituted, led by the Chairman Senate Committee on Judiciary, I believe, Senator Niyagbomire, today. So we're expecting news on that consideration. But ahead of that, if the National Assembly is unable to conclude its work today on the amendment within 3 weeks for President Tinubu to assent, then the 2027 election may be postponed or conducted with the 2022 Electoral Act. The question is, and the Senate has received a lot of backlash for the delay. The ADC is saying that it's deploying delay tactics. Civil society is saying that the Senate is grandstanding and it is really not committed to the Electoral Act for obvious reasons. The question is, what is the political elite afraid of?
Well, quite honestly, Bukola, like you know, the Electoral Act amendment is about the voters, really, Nigerians. It's not about the political class. Because we are talking about stability of this country. We are talking about a case where votes will count. We are talking about a case where even the umpire, the umpire, I'm talking about INEC now, will have clear laws that will protect them, will enable them to really deliver on the mandate given to them. We are talking about having primaries, even the political parties conducting primaries that will not be litigated, endlessly. So it's about the gains that we have achieved already. If you look at the Electoral Act 2022, which we're talking about, because of the beavers and other technological advancements introduced, the quality of the process had improved. But we have also observed during the 2023 elections that there are gaps, and those gaps were what led to Nigerians being so disappointed, because what they expected was not what we got. Nigerians were expecting transmission to be from the polling unit to the RF, so that they can see it as it's happening in other countries. As votes are coming, you can count and you can predict, or you can know exactly, the directions that we are going. So these gains that we are able to achieve in the 2022 Electoral Act is what we are trying to protect with this amendment. But if we don't, we will again roll back to those days of manual manipulation, which is what happened in 2023. If you remember, the presidential collation was not done to the expectations of Nigerians, because Nigerians were expecting that at the ICC Center, which is today now, Bola Ahmed Tinubu Conference Center, they were expecting that they will see, like you on your handsets, you'll be able to know where APC is winning, where PDP is winning, where ADP is winning, but that wasn't the case. We again found ourselves back to the manual process, which we had already jettisoned. So the issue now is, how do we ensure that it's not courts that are declaring winners instead of voters? How do we ensure that our election is not monetized, to the point of making a nonsense of it or making it a mercantile system? How do we ensure that the voter, confidence is brought back into the system, and they will come out and will not feel that end of the day it is what INEC decides that will happen, because the laws even giving INEC the power says that in accordance with what INEC prescribed. That shouldn't be the case. It should be in accordance with the system, not giving INEC that power, which is so ambiguous. So the way the National Assembly is going about it is like they want to protect what they are enjoying at the expense of quality elections, at the expense of the voters, so that those who have money can always go to court and then get their way, instead of the voters, the votes to count. So this is why the stakeholders are not happy, especially the civil society groups, and then people like ourselves. We are not happy because we want an election that the Nigerians will believe in. We want an election that will be governed by law. We want an election that you can predict. It's not an election that will be left to the court to decide. And that's what we have today, which is not good enough. So people saying that National Assembly is playing games, you cannot really say they are wrong, because they know that we need time to really make sure that these very necessary amendments that I've mentioned are introduced so as to make the process to be very, very transparent and acceptable.
So let's assume that the National Assembly is not playing games and give it the benefit of the doubt. Section 4, subsection 7 of the draft, that's the draft of the amendment bill, says elections into the office of president and governor of the state shall be held no later than 185 days before the expiration of the term of the office of the last holder of the office. The tenure of the current incumbents is expected to expire on May 29, 2027. That's for those who are seeking re-election now. Let's assume that the Electoral Act Amendment Bill is passed today and INEC is giving the go-ahead to conduct elections on a new regime of a new set of laws that reflect the reforms that the generality of Nigerians are expecting. Won't INEC be thrown into a quandary? Will INEC, on the new template, be able to conduct credible elections with all of the requirements of elections within this short time available?
No, you see, Electoral Acts is not something that you rush, with this kind of firefighting arrangements. No, this is about this country. And this is why people are suspecting that there was something that the National Assembly is not telling Nigerians. Otherwise, if there's any bill or any law that National Assembly should have concentrated on and ensure that we get it right in time, it has to be the Electoral Act. But look at what is happening today. We are boxed to a corner whereby you either say, well, we have to, like you said, we have to go back to the law, which we know is faulty, or postpone the elections. But we cannot postpone these elections. There's no way we will postpone the elections. The only thing that maybe INEC can do is to see, how a bad case can be made, to be something that is better than what it was. Because Nigerians, believe you me, I don't know what will happen. If what happened in 2023 repeats itself, I don't know what will happen to this country, because it's not something you want to contemplate. And what we are asking for is to ensure that we continuously improve this process. And the amendments that are proposed in that bill, believe you me, they are amendments that will make this Electoral Act to deliver what Nigerians want. It will reduce cost interferences. It will reduce INEC interferences. It will take it away from the manual processes. Like you are saying, the timelines given in the Constitution, that INEC has to give notice 360 days before the election itself, and then that the other timelines given in the Electoral Act are sacrosanct. You cannot manipulate those timelines. Otherwise, you find yourself in court again, and the whole election itself will become subject of litigation.
All right. We must anchor at this point. We expect, the outcome of the report of the committee set up by the Senate today. And, of course, Nigerians will have a whole lot to decide upon based on the disposition of the Senate. We must thank you very much for coming on the program. Engineer Yabagi Sani is former chairman, IPAC Advisory Group, and, of course, national chairman of the ADP. Thank you for your time on the program.
Thank you, Bukola. Thank you for having me.